What's going on, everybody out there? It's Ron Brown, LMT, the People's Fitness Professional, aka Soul Brother #1, reporting for duty. Today, we got the brother Jelani in the building to talk about the origin of Freemasonry. Before we go into it, do the knowledge to this commercial. Hold on one second. Oh, where is it? Here it is. Oh, hold on. Do the knowledge.
Peace, family. Welcome to NYP Talk Show. This is more than a podcast. It's a conscious platform rooted in truth and culture. From the 5% Nation, Nation of Islam, Moorish movement, and Masonry. Our mission is to reclaim our narrative and uplift the African diaspora with real stories and real conversations. Support us through super chats during live shows, donations on Cash App, GoFundMe, Patreon, or Buzzsprout, and by repping our official merch, available on our website and right here on YouTube's merch shelf. Every dollar, every super chat, every hoodie builds the movement. This is NYP Talk Show.
All right, Brother Jelani Bey, welcome back to the NYP Talk Show. It's been a minute. It's been about a year since you've been on this thing, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. So now we got you back. You know, it's been a long time. Haven't had you on. This thing just got super busy. It got busier than what, I expected it to be. But that's a good thing, right? So, and you were there from the beginning, from the very beginning. Anytime I ever asked Brother Jelani to come through and support, Brother Jelani is there. So salute to you for that. Really appreciate you. Now, now I want to talk a little bit about your history, just in case people don't know. We're going to go briefly into your history, and then we're going to go into the origins of Masonry. So if you can give people a little snippet of your history, take it away.
Okay, are we talking about Masonic or Moorish history? We're talking about subject is Masonic, right?
We're talking about Masonic. However, I want them to know, your works, like how long you've been, a Moor, putting in work and teaching the people, and also dealing with Masonry.
All right, well, very well. I started my studies in Moorish science in the year 2000. But as far as Masonry concerned, that was 1997. I didn't know nothing about my birthright and nationality. A brother at work invited me to the lodge, and I went in. I got into a situation at the Grand Lodge where some of the brothers with higher degrees interrupted the conversation I was in and pretty much dismissed me. Like, brother, I don't mean, it wasn't even really like that. It's like, look, we got to talk about something, bro. Talk to you later. And that infuriated me, man. A young Moor, man, you know what I'm saying? Testosterone, ego. And I vowed that day that I would learn everything there is in Freemasonry so that no door can ever be closed on me again. In other words, it's not excuse me. It's, hey, bro, come on, let's go talk this business.
Right.
So fast forward to 2000. We started, I think Dr. York came out with a book on Noble Drew Ali. And we had, studied that, and we was listening to some of the things he was doing. And so from 2000 to about 2002, it was this freelance studying in Moorish science and different Moorish things. Then 2000 and actually 2001, I was extremely Afrocentric. All into Molifi Asante. I had met Naeem Akbar and Dr. Ben, and Listervelt Middleton had a show where he'd bring all these people on, and we would meet some of them in person. And metaphysics with Phil Valentine, and uh, my man, I forget his name all of a sudden,
Not
but
Bobby Hemmett.
Bobby Hemmett. Bobby Hemmett. Matter of fact, Bobby Hemmett would do shows, and we would show up, and he would get cockier because we had already made the commitment. Nobody touched this man. Go, we gonna touch you. We was like his on-site bodyguards when we came to see him. You know, we even did security at his house. You know, so brother met me in the street. I was in African garb, floppy hat, and everything. The brother walked up to me and said, "Brother, you know that's a sharp that garbage is fire. You know, what's your nationality?" You know, I told him African American. He said, "Brother, man can't be born on two continents at one time. Brother, what's your nationality?" We went back and forth a little bit, and he gave me a name and number and a website to look at. Me and the brothers beat that up, and then Brothers Ethereus introduced us. We went up to Charlotte, North Carolina, where we met Tierra L, Empress Anua Tierra L of the Tierra L Associates, indigenous law firm, and also the Moab Pierre Cherokee Kiowa Nation. Well, we nationalized into the nation and also into the Federation Moorish Science Temple. That was under Supreme Grand Sheik Jelani Bey. And Sister Anua L was our sheikess. So her background was kind of limited because although she had been made a sheik, you know, she was a minister before that. So she would slip in the Bible concordance on us, you know. And shortly after that, Elder Taj Tariq Bey came to us and as a tribe and showed us the 8-page affidavit that came out of the Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs. And shortly after that, while visiting Philadelphia, we heard about a meeting in Brooklyn, and Kamal Bey was in charge of that meeting at the time. And, you know, we next thing you know, I was the emir for South Carolina, and Isis Shiva Il was the emiress for Georgia. Well, we worked with each other for quite a while. And I was given various assignments. When I got promoted to the East Coast Regional Commander for the Great Seal, at that time there was a question about the 222141 number and controversy with Nakeem Bey and the Clock of Destiny. So as Regional Commander, I was assigned to investigate the whole situation.
With Nakeem Bey?
Huh?
With Nakeem Bey?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. You know, because all due respect to the brother, you know, the second principle is truth. You know, he was doing some questionable things. And Brother Yusuf Rami Bey, peace and blessings be upon him, had to confront him about it. And it later on got him into trouble with the organization where they was chasing him through Harlem. It got that ugly. And then when he came out with the new copyrights, well, my first assignment was to go to Cleveland, Ohio and talk to the Clock of Destiny, the original members. And Brother Dumas Bey, who had gotten into an altercation with Brother Nakeem Bey at Uriel Bey's convention up north, he told us straight up, he says, I don't have the power to give anybody the Clock of Destiny. My job was to do the printing, you know, the place for the printer, to make the books. Mm-hmm. That was his assignment. Now, he could give you a charter. So he gave him a charter for New York. He didn't give him authority over the whole clock. You know, so that was one of my assignments. Then later on, we met Nakeem Bey at 125th.
Nakeem Bey or Hakeem Bey?
No, Nakeem Bey. Hakeem Bey was the Minister of Education for the Great Seal National Association of Moorish Affairs. And he had been there, him and Brother Ignitus had went to the clock at an earlier time, and they brought back the 10 lessons, you know, And because when we got there, they were looking at us sideways because they was like, hey, look, some of y'all done came here before and we didn't appreciate what they did. So they put us under scrutiny, man, asking us stuff about the Zodiac Constitution and the Zodiac wheels and the different energies and stuff. We met him at 125th Atlantic at the Starbucks.
We're talking about Nakeem Bey now.
We're talking about Nakeem Bey now.
Yeah.
And it was myself, Sharif Aniel Bey, Isis Shiva Il, Kamal Bey, and Salahuddin Il. All right. And we wanted to know, bro, what you doing? And he explained to us that the 222141 had ran out. It had expired. So he put an additional page onto the work and got new copyright numbers, because after 50 years, if you don't renew the copyright numbers, any Joe Schmo can come along and get those copyrights and claim them for themselves. So I understood what he did, but on the surface, you know how we are. We'll take a smidgen of what's going on and run with it. You know, so I mean, I was clear personally, so other people didn't have, you know, still had problems with it. However, guy, I told you, me and Sharif go back, man. We go back a minute. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And shortly after that, May 26, 2006. Well, no, 2005. That's when I was hanging with Elder Taj pretty tough. And we would go to Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland. And we would go to the embryo Moorish Science Temple in Baltimore. The leader was Supreme Grand Sheik Michael Ali Il. And he took Brother Taj and some more Moors and my Grand Sheik through the Adept Chamber.
Hold on, more. The more you came on like just dropping fire. Hold on, I wasn't expecting all this. But yo, you hear the history? Yo, the history is crazy. All right, go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, so and it was Michael Bey was in that group too that went through the Adept Chambers with the rest of the elders. And my Grand Sheik, Mayat Spirit Bey, out of Glenview, Texas, we had a conference in Greenwood, South Carolina, May 26, 2006. Myself and 11 other sheiks were then appointed Grand Sheiks. And before we were able to go down to Oyatunji Village, he passed away. So after that, I was conversating with other sheiks and stuff like that, and they just didn't get it. You know, I just wasn't satisfied. My heart wasn't satisfied. I mean, some of these cats is kind of prominent too. So in between that time, I was introduced to Grand Sheik Adar Bey of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science.
Adar.
And,
yo, hold on. This is a classic already. Now, Adar, he's from like the South, right? Like Virginia or something like that?
Originally, yeah. He was Virginia. And we met during the days in the Great Seal. One of my responsibilities was to establish chapters of the Great Seal up and down the East Coast. And once I picked someone for a potential emir, I had to report to Sultan Yusuf Rami Bey and discuss their situation. If he saw favorable,
Bey. Hold on. You saying a whole bunch of ill names right there. So Rami Bey, he's from Atlanta or something like that?
No, Rami Bey. No. Yusuf Rami Bey was from Queens.
Oh, he's from Queens, but he moved to Atlanta?
No, he moved to Sumter, South Carolina.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I knew something like that.
Sumter, South Carolina. So I was living in Greenwood, South Carolina at that time. So that's where I would get my marching orders. you know. So, you know, Adar was in Virginia, and he wanted a charter for the Great Seal. So I got him his charter. I got his stuff sealed and signed by Yusuf Rami Bey. And in turn, he gave me a charter for Moorish Holy. All right. So it was an exchange. It was a swap. Now, backtrack, because like I said, in 97, that's when I was introduced to Masonry. So by the time I proclaimed my nationality, I was already a 32nd degree Mason on the York Rite side. So that meant I went through the Blue House, the Royal Arch, the Knights Templar, the Shriners, and then my 32nd. You know, that was in 2002, 2003. See what I mean? And so when I came in to Moorish science, the first thing I recognized, once they taught us how to greet each other, I said, oh, no. That's how they do it in the lodge for a certain situation. See what I mean? Then when they come in and talking about standing on their square, I'm like, that's what they taught us in the lodge. Then when I took the Resurrector's degree out of Baltimore, reincarnated prophet jurisdiction, the press hands that were taught, they came straight from the Royal Arch, man. Straight from the Royal Arch. And so here I am coming into the movement, seeing the similarities of the jurisdiction I had been a part of for many years. And that's why I didn't understand the slander and the folly that was coming from Moors, you know, because of the similarities, you know. So then later on, 2007, I was appointed lifetime chief in the United Washita Day Dog Demani.
That's with Brother Alim Bey.
Dr. Alim. Yeah, Dr. Alim Bey. And I was then assigned to the primary council and the chief ambassador for the tribe. And in 2009, I was sent to Poverty Point with the Empire Washita, you know, to try to mend things with them as chief ambassador. Because they had been misinformed about, you know, the Crown Prince.
Yo, hold on, yo, Jelani, what happened this evening? Like, what yo, yeah. You had your Wheaties or something, man.
We're gonna slow it down, bro. Just kind of slow it down.
Nah. Keep going.
Well, I mean, you know, that was Dr. Alim. Even before, you know, he got heavy into the temple, and people deny that to this day. But Brother Adar Bey made him Grand Sheik over Temple number 2 in North Carolina, and I was over Temple number 3 in South Carolina. You know, and Dr. Alim on his website, he had an in-depth history on Moorish science, you know, the early days of Prophet Noble Drew Ali before he started the mission in 1913, you know, and things of that nature. And when I seen that in 1910, he was a member of the free and accepted ancient York Masons, that blew my mind.
Okay, so this is the issue with that, right? I see a lot of Moors saying that there's no record of him being a part of any lodge beforehand or after.
Well, several authors have laid testament to him being a member of the lodge. And the mere fact that Moors do a lot of things they do in the lodge, they don't know it because nobody told them that's what they was doing.
Mm.
You see what I mean?
Right.
That's just like somebody teaching me supreme mathematics and not knowing that it's indigenous to the 5% Nation of Islam.
Right.
You see what I mean? I wouldn't know until a God body approached me. It's like, yo, you know, you be God, you know what I'm saying? Or something like that. You know, I've never been in it. I never had an enlightenment, so I'm not even gonna play with it too tough.
Nah, I get it. I get it.
You know?
I get you.
You know, and so there's 3 years difference, 1910 and 1913. So 3 years before he even started the old Canaanite temple. Heck, he was trying to doggone create a church. I forget the name of it. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, the mere fact that there are distinct things that I recognized when I came into the movement. And then when I found that out, I said, eureka. Mm-hmm. That's why the Moors are doing this. That's why the Moors are saying this.
Okay, so to clarify, right? I just want to make sure I'm correct here. Mm-hmm. So I haven't gone as deep into the lodge as you have, and a lot of Moors, I think personally, this is what I believe, right? A lot of Moors who never been in the lodge will refute the fact that the prophet has been in the lodge without even knowing anything about the lodge, right? So they can't even compare and contrast to make, to examine to see if there's some similarities. So they just deny that without knowing, you know what I'm saying? Without going in through the lodge, based on, I guess, whatever knowledge they have themselves, whatever research they have. Some Moors just completely deny it.
And that's their right, you know. But there is documented information on that fact. But you can't. That's just like me, doggone. That's just like me knowing your history when you was a yellow belt. Mm-hmm. You know, then doubting that you're a 4th degree. Mm. See what I mean? Right. This is 1910. I mean, obviously the man was a scholar, searching for knowledge. You know, right. Suleiman Muhammad, one of the people he co-founded the old Canaanite temple with. He's the brother that came over from the east and told everybody they doggone temples was whack. I'm talking about Shriners temples. Mm. So everybody, he's the only legitimate cat that could spread Shrinerdom. And let me add, the Shrinerdom and Freemasonry, 2 different jurisdictions.
Yes, I learned that last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
2 different jurisdictions.
Can you explain?
So Masons don't wear fezzes. Shriners do. See what I mean? Masons don't wear fezzes. And I'm talking about unconscious Asiatics. Mm-hmm. See what I mean? Now, there are some degrees where a black fez can be part of the uniform. Okay. See what I mean? And that also brings about the part about the marked fez. Prophet said, don't mark your fez. Correct. As a Moorish American. Mm-hmm. As a Mason in the Knights Templar, some of their commanderies wear fezzes, black fezzes. And they wear black fezzes because internationally, the black fez is recognized as law enforcement, judgment. Internationally, give you a receipt. Remember the first Mummy? The movie The Mummy?
Yeah.
Remember when the lady went into the jail to pick up the dude?
Okay.
Remember that part?
I vaguely.
Every one of the COs in that jail had on a black fez.
I got to go back to that.
Yeah. See? Every last one of them had on a black fez. Internationally, it is recognized as a headdress of law and authority. The same reason in the Kung Fu movies, you see the headdresses that resemble fezzes. It's black.
Mm-hmm.
They're law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? 5 Deadly Venoms.
Mm-hmm.
The lizard was a cop. The lizard and the scorpion were cops. And they wore black headdresses. See? So what I'm doing is taking it out of the scope of the temple and taking it internationally where it's called a tarbouge instead of a fez. So stop talking about the Shriners, because the Shriners is not a religious society. They're not a part of our organization.
Okay. So now this is something that I never really understood. So Masons and Shriners, what makes them different?
The Shriners is an auxiliary organization that supports Freemasonry. In other words, in ancient York Rite, I have to finish my education as a Mason before I can go through what I have to go through to be a Shriner. See? And it was important for me. I'm glad I did it when I did, because once I got in, trust me, it's a Moorish jurisdiction, bro. Ain't nothing European about what they doing. That's when I came to the realization that the European is copying us, emulating us. But we can't copy us because we are who we are. It's not until you get inside the door and they start identifying certain people that as a Muslim, you go, whoa, did they say that? Did they say this? You know, and there's no European stuff in it. Straight up Islam, bro.
Really?
Factually.
Okay.
See what I mean? To even get in the door, you talking about Islamic history without saying too much. You feel me?
Right. Right. So now this brother says you have to be a master mason to become a Shriner.
Yes, and a lot of times what has to happen is that just because you have to be a master mason to be a Shriner, in other words, I know the Asiatic Masons do it a lot. European Masons, hey, all they got to do is slip a few dollars and boom, they Shriners. And that's all they do is Shriners. You have some Europeans that they couldn't go toe-to-toe with you as a Blue House Mason because they went straight into the shrine, which is another jurisdiction. But in the Asiatic Masonic, I'll say guild, they require you to learn what you have to learn. In other words, you have to be not just a Mason, but an accomplished Mason. You got to learn all your lessons, you know, so that if somebody come up on you Going right back to your jurisdiction, brother. What's today's mathematics? And you ain't got nothing to say to them. That's a universal beatdown, correct?
Nowadays it's not like that though. Nah. They don't. It's like back in the days, I would say like in the 90s, if you didn't know your math, yeah, you have a problem. You have a serious problem, you know what I mean? But now it's a little bit more mellowed out.
Well, and you know what?
I would say a lot more mellowed out.
Well, the same thing with Masonry, brother. Because you, man, it was his brother. I ain't gonna say his name. Get on my nerve. He would actually like peep out, like he see two Masons greet each other. And he go around the corner and peep and see what he could doggone pick up, and then go to another Mason and try it out. Not a day in the lodge, right? And he wear the belt buckles and the necklaces and everything, you know, and he didn't even know how to protect it, but he could sugar mount through it. So it would make me mad. In our early days, man, I'm really, really gung-ho. If I'm committed to it, I'm committed to it. I'm a soldier about it. And he was playing around me, man. I said, brother, you know, you're playing a very dangerous game. Back then, it was a dangerous game. So I introduced him to this older brother with a finger missing, and asked him to tell this brother what happened to his finger. He put his daddy's ring on and ran into somebody, and they took that ring. So just to mirror what you just said, back in the day when I first came into the order, it was no joke. You had to know what you know.
Damn, why was it like that back in the days, man?
Discipline.
Like back in the days, it was no joke, man. I think I was telling somebody a while back, when I first got into the when I first became a 5%er, I was so peace have been. I was so excited about this new information for me. You know what I mean? Like it all came to me. I said, "Oh, there's no mystery God. Oh, I'm the God." Oh, and I got a tattoo. This is the tattoo I got when I was a kid. Right? I got that tattoo. I'm on a train. I'm walking on a train. I'm so proud to have this universal flag on my arm. And this guard came up to me, yo, you know what you got on your arm? Yo, he wasn't playing.
No,
he was not playing, yo. And the brother that I was with, who basically introduced me to the 5% Nation, he had to like, yo, hold on, I got this. Like, yo, he's new. Like it was
vouch for you.
Yeah, it was no joke in those days, bro. And when you came up, yeah, we came up around it. Oh, you got into Masonry in 97. I got into the 5% Nation at 95, 96, around that time. So it's around that, them 90s, bro.
Yo, they were serious. Once they realized who they were serious about that.
Yeah.
You know, and understand, it was a universal conspiracy to water down our fire, even in the martial arts tip. The Nisei Goju boys, the Tom Dojos of Brooklyn, you know, Grandmaster McGee. Well, I go way back. You know what I'm saying? I go back to 71. So we would actually have karate wars.
Nah, for real. Even when I was coming up dojo against dojo and shit, like, wow, you bringing it back. Yo, that was serious. Wow.
Because we were actually, once we found out that we were something special,
yeah,
we were serious about that and we stood on that. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But then somebody came in there and said, no, well, you know, we're not gonna, brother, we ain't gonna haze like we did. We're going to take it easy, brother, But then guess what happens?
It got watered down.
It got watered down. They played with the science. Like, okay, me and you both know, as you teaching the youth coming up in martial arts, there's 2 reasons to put them on their knuckles. On the surface, they believe they're being punished.
That's conditioning.
That's conditioning the wrist, strengthening the wrist, developing pads on those first 2 knuckles, so they become weapons.
Right.
But you can't tell that kid that when you say down, give me 20. But guess what? A wise teacher will talk to him while he's doing his push-ups. Why? So he associates the pain with the lesson and never forget it.
Yo, Jelani came out swinging today. He ate his Wheaties. He's ready. So now we got Awareness Daily in the building. Awareness Daily 360. Awareness Daily has been rocking with NYP for a long time. Just haven't seen you. Thank you for the $5, brother. Is Freemasonry an open system in the shrine and application? That's a good question. If you
Freemasonry an operating system,
operating system, yeah.
They're 2 different sets. They're 2 different systems. What taught me to compartmentalize was Freemasonry. If I'm in a conversation with a Blue House Mason, I'm not going to talk to him about Royal Arts information. I'm not going to talk to him about Knights Templar information. I'm not going to talk to them about 32nd information until they show and prove they're at that level. It's the same thing with the shrine. See, because like we said about watering down, they don't water down the shrine. They let a lot of things go. The old school don't appreciate it. I've seen a lot of things that have been omitted that you just don't see done. And you wonder why. That's the integral part of being a part of something. That's like getting a rank, getting a black belt, and all your basics is raggedy. And they still gave you the black belt because you gave them some loot. Real black belts ain't feeling that. See, it's the same difference.
Right.
I think that the doggone Moorish Divine and National Movement would be more integral if you see a brother with a fez on or turban on, especially a fez, and you go, Islam, well, who made you? And they don't have an answer. Key 14, more. And they don't have an answer. Well, who the hell, what jurisdiction you come from, man? Even if you go into the other jurisdictions, if a sister was impregnated in May, when would her baby be delivered? Now you clock a destiny. And they don't have an answer. So what you do? Order that damn, or especially go, well, what's that, Mo? Oh, yeah, I got this hat, man. I seen it. You got this hat? See? So instead of letting that go and talking about him, smack that thing off his head.
You can't do that now.
Yeah, but see, that's why they don't have no respect for it. Give you an example. And let me know where our time is at, because I want to go back to the ancient and to what the Europeans are doing to us. All right. I was doing a lecture in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I asked the people in the audience, what do y'all know about Moorish science? They started telling me about chargebacks, UCC ones, and they had a Grand Sheik in the front And I went through the one-on-ones, the first 10 questions in the one-on-ones. And the Grand Sheik didn't answer not one of them. Then, per Yusuf Rami Bey, he told me what the 7-page affidavit was supposed to be. And I told the audience. And the buffoon that been playing with him was sitting in the audience. He charging them $1,000 a piece for 7 pieces of paper. When the Great Seal said $360 for regular situations and $180 for single women with children. So the security, he tried to sneak out. The security commenced with the universal. Took all this stuff and everything. He went and got the police. All right. Police came. It was 3 of them. I came out there. And it was like, do we keep his stuff? No, man. He made all that garbage up, man. Let him grab that and slap that in the bag and let him take it with him. So the police go, what's going on here? I said, never mind. This is a Moorish affair. We got this under control. They stepped backwards, turned around like they supposed to turn around, and they left. And that scary dude ran behind them. He knew better than to stay there after police left. See, that's the type of respect between our two jurisdictions supposed to be. You know, whoever this dude is, he's an authority. You know, he has this situation under control. None of our business. That's the way it's supposed to be. See what I mean? I was at a function, and a Grand Sheik was getting some smoke from another Moor, and he threatened to go call the police. And I stepped in. I said, Moor, where your mufti at? What you mean? Oh, no, brother, the prophet said we must obey the laws of the land and the society in which you live. Brother, I ain't never seen Pookie or Ray Ray say Islam, Mo. You see what I mean? Unless it's Chicago in El Rukin demonstration, something like that. You know what I'm saying? But in other words, the average person on the street don't talk like a Moorish American.
Right.
See? So, and that's our main problem. We amalgamating. You know? I mean, it really, really irks me. And then we're going to go to this ancient thing that in 2025, the average Asiatic outside of the conscious community don't know what a Moor is. Don't know. Moorish, what's that? Huh? After 100 years of some change? What's that? That goes back to we was talking about watered down. Temple meeting is over with. Take your feathers off, put them in your hat box, and go upon the road, highways and byways, looking like Pookie and Ray Ray. That's the problem. That's the problem.
Hold on, let me acknowledge. Thanks, Ben AB the Light for the $5. I really appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Now, we have about 15 minutes. I want you know, of course, you're welcome to come up again and again and again, because you know you're coming with the heat. Now, I now I know the subject that you know to keep with you. You know what I mean? So now let's go into what you said. You said you were going to go back to the Europeans and how they dealing with Freemasonry.
Well, it goes back to that old saying about the red ant and the black ant that you put into the jar, and they live in harmony, no smoke, until somebody from the outside shakes that jar up and gives the red ant and the black ant the illusion that the other one is trying to jump on them. Now you have war. So 4,000 BC, Asiatics were in the mystery systems and initiations and dealing with the 7 liberal arts and the sciences. See what I mean? Some of the same things you deal with in Freemasonry to this very day. So now, in 450 AD, this is when the Moors came in to Europe during their Renaissance. They call it a Renaissance, so that's when we was teaching them. See, that was also around the year of the Black Plague, because their hygiene was messed up. They wasn't bathing. They was living in the same area with their animals. That movie 13th Warrior shows you that the kings were living in barns. See what I mean? So now, the United Grand Lodge of England says what gives them the permission to start their own National Grand Lodge is because they can trace themselves back to 1400 AD. Did you hear me, brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just told you 4000 BC. We've been stepping off on the left and standing on our square. He went back to the years where they was doggone doing the Mason guilds. And they were being taught how to build bricks. Taught by us on how to build bricks. See? But they claim that's their authority to make their own United Grand Lodge or their National Grand Lodge. But then, right out of doggone Mackey's Law Dictionary, it says that the word clandestine means one who is covert or secretive. They turned that word into a disrespectful term, taught it to us. All right, let me pause there for a second, because in 1747, I might have that wrong. 1487, 1787, some early what's the name? A man named John T. Hilton. We're going to go back to Prince Hall. All right. Prince Hall was a pseudonym. It was a nickname. All right. His real name, per the Clock of Destiny, was Ben Bey Emmanuel Mu Ali. Now let's search for the receipt on that. The character Benjamin Banneker is famous for creating the almanac. In order to create an almanac, you must have the science of astronomy, mathematics, culture. You couldn't learn that from Mr. Gilmore on the plantation. He had just got out of slavery himself. The first slave owners in this country were us. And they were the slaves, especially the Irish. They wouldn't even doggone sell them. They just come and get them. Receipt. They were white and they were slaves. See?
Okay.
So
now, real quick before we go on, I just gotta acknowledge.
Yes, sir.
Nicholas Bay, thank you for the $5. Islam NYP family, and brother Jelani, thank you for bringing the light.
Islam is gratitude, brother. So 1770, and that's what cracks me up, because we got there in 750 AD, and we went through some things, and like 1492 and all that. After 1492, we were kicked out of England, or we were gradually pushed out of England. But we had already taught them, civilized them. So how is it that you created Masonry in 1717? When we were there hundreds, if not 1,000 years before 1717. You got rid of us, and then you usurped what we taught you. Now you write in the history books that you created it. Then you're going to go back to the 1400s, and say you validated by the old guilds, not telling us that your teachers were Moors. Then you tell the people that Prince Hall was the son of a French military dude and the mother of a slave. Well, Christian Black Code says that the fate of the mother is the fate of the child. So that would make Prince Hall a slave. Masons can't be slaves. So now we're talking about the contradictions.
Mm-hmm.
But as Ben Bey Emmanuel Muali, this brother made a clock out of wood that was accurate to the minute. He had skills that no European could give him. So from the African Lodge number 1 to African Lodge 459 to the last Grand Master of African Lodge 459 and the first Grand Master of the free and accepted ancient York Masons, Brother John T. Hilton, look him up. He's a bad brother. 1847, he was a bad brother. Mm. So he asked the United Grand Lodge, hey man, can we get down? We all Masons, right? They said, heck no, ninja. He said, okay. And he created a National Grand Lodge. They did it. They did it. So he did it. Him and 3 other lodges, 3 other Grand Lodges, because we were practicing Masonry before that. They came together and they formed a National Grand Lodge. Now, you know the nature of us. Somebody want to be the HNIC that probably don't need to be, and they broke off. They left the National Compact. Mm. And they actually existed in the wilderness until 1980 something. It left in 1890 something, and they begged the United Grand Lodge, and they finally got a charter from them in the 1980s. And it was they're the ones that came up with the phrase clandy or clandestine, which basically means that if the European Grand Lodge don't recognize you, then you're illegitimate.
Right. There we go. Now you brought it home. Exactly. Right.
See?
Right. Yo, I always wondered that right there. I always wondered that, man. Thanks for clarifying.
And we've been beefing among each other ever since.
Right. Exactly.
Prince Hall origin versus Prince Hall affiliated. Even though the obvious is there, origin means the original. Affiliated means related to.
We got the real Kush Day in the building. That's not the subject matter, brother. That's not the point of the podcast today, brother. Peace to you. Man, we only have 5 minutes before.
That's Kush Day?
Yeah, Kush Day. The real Kush Day is in the building.
Man, tell that brother, listen, man, I've been dying to dialogue with that cat. You know, whatever he been fed, don't believe it, brother. Dialogue with me, man. Let's build.
Yeah.
I love his stuff. Let him know that. I love his demonstration.
He's watching. He's watching.
Man, I appreciate your demonstration, brother.
Yeah, he's been on the show. I think one time he was supposed to come back on at some point, but I don't know. We just never connected. But we'll make that happen, man. This is the platform for the Moors, the 5%ers, everybody, Masons, everybody, all Asiatics. This is the platform for the family. This is a family podcast. Just to let
Islam, that's right, brother.
It's a family podcast. It's always been a family podcast from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And it'll stay that way. So anybody's welcome to come up here as long as you got your facts right. And even if you're not right and exact, we're all human. You know what I mean? And somebody in the chat will check you on it. Somebody on the chat will check you on it for sure. You know what I'm saying? But on that note, we only have 4 minutes. Let's conclude now. The brother Jelani is with the fam. He always been with the fam. He will be back up here. He came with the heat. He came with the heat today. You gotta rewind this whole podcast right here, because in the beginning, he started talking about some real history. Rewind the podcast from the very beginning. He has the history. Rewind that.
Behind the door, brother.
Exactly. Now on that note, wow, I got like this knot on my head right here. Anyway, so with Islam, everybody. Now, hold on. Where can we reach out to you at Jelani Bey? Jelani Bey, give them all your social media so they can reach out to you and inbox you and all that stuff.
All right. Jelani Kalfani Bey on Facebook. National Grand Sheik Jelani Bey on Instagram. And Jelani Kalfani Bey on what's that joint with the little flag?
Joint with the little flag is not you're not talking about Instagram.
No, what's the name? TikTok.
Okay, yeah, TikTok. TikTok. So that's his social medias. He'll be back up, and just in case you forgot, he'll be back up again. Thank you, brother Jelani Bey, for coming out this evening. I really appreciate you, brother Jelani Bey. Yo, who was that? That's man. Terrain Hicks is in the building. Terrain Hicks is in the building. You don't remember Terrain Hicks, Jelani, but yeah, we got to talk about that. Hold on. Would love to build Kush.
Plug my phone. Plug my
hold on. Kush. If you're still in the building, where's Kush at? Kush, if you're still in the building, we got the brother of AB the Light. Would love to build with Kush. Ben Yamin Bey on Facebook, if you will, brother. So
thank you.
Oh, we got the trolls in the building again. We love it. We love the trolls. You guys, man, I think I know where this is coming from. If I'm wrong and this is just a regular troll, pardon me, but you're about to get banned because I think I know who you are, and you cats are suckers, straight up. You act like scorn women, stalker type of cats. You guys are pitiful, despicable, and I spoke on you to a couple people. So you guys are clowns. If this is who I think it is, you dudes are clowns. If you're a regular troll, sorry, I would like for you to be here, but you will be banned for now on because I think you're a clown, somebody who I think is a clown. Anyway, we're out of here. Peace to everybody on the chat. Really appreciate you. Are you going to have him answer my question, beloved brother? Right now, I don't see your question, and we are out of here. We are out of time. Come back again the next time he is up here.
Inbox me.
Yeah, inbox the brother. Peace to everybody on the chat, and we are out of here. Peace.
Peace, family. Welcome to NYP Talk Show. This is more than a podcast. It's a conscious platform rooted in truth and culture. From the 5% Nation, Nation of Islam, Moorish movement, and Masonry. Our mission is to reclaim our narrative and uplift the African diaspora with real stories and real conversations. Support us through super chats during live shows, donations on Cash App, GoFundMe, Patreon, or Buzzsprout, and by repping our official merch, available on our website and right here on YouTube's merch shelf. Every dollar, every super chat, every hoodie builds the movement. This is NYP Talk Show.